Okay, this is a video on the SuperPel charger. Here I've managed to hook up a total of 30 Peltiers or TECs, which is about 15 per side. This is a kerosene can that you can find in any hardware store that holds kerosene. And I've taken the bottom portion out, as you can see here. The bottom portion is all hollow here. I put a brace in here so that when the Peltiers are tightened up by the strap here, it doesn't buckle. So it leaves it nice and straight and even. Now I've managed to put supercapacitors right here on the sides. These are held in by one of these things here, but the supercapacitors are also removable. So when I take this off like this, I can pop out the supercap and you can take it out when it's fully charged, or you can just leave it in here and you can access power of the supercap when it's already connected. So it's a very reliable, very rugged, very strong. Now if we take a close-up here, you can see right here I put a metal strap. This is called metal strapping wire or plumber's tape, and I've sealed it up with a nut and bolt right here. And this goes over the top of each Peltier and each heatsink. If we can take one out here so you can see. There's a heatsink down there, and there's a Peltier right here. So when you put it together, quite simply put the heatsink on top of here, and then the strapping tape is put over the top like this. Now there's screws in here to hold it in there so it doesn't shake out. Once you put these screws in here, it stays very steady. These heat sinks will not move. And I put a bolt, a small little nut right here, another nut underneath the plumber's tape to keep it steady and secure. And it keeps it in there without moving or anything else. So let's go ahead and take a look at the actual piece that holds the Peltiers on. What I've done is I put a plumber's trowel on here. And quite simply, this actually allows it to be lifted up all the way for easy transport. And the plumber's trowel is removable. I've managed to put wing nuts on here. These are 4 wing nuts. And then this pops off like this. And then that exposes the 2 lamps that are on the inside. And these 2 lamps will eventually heat up this tower right here. So you can actually, I'll light them up here so you can watch them burn. These supply the heat to the Peltier tower. Now, this part here is also detachable from the bottom so we can access the heat lamps. You can also open the side doors. I've got a magnet on here which attaches to this metal right here. And here are the lamps. And there's a door on each side. There's a door here, and then there's another door on this side right here, which is also open. And now right here I've got what are called gripper clips. So we're going to go ahead and access the inside right now. Go ahead and turn these lamps out. There's a gripper clip right here on the bottom. This gripper clip is very important because it just clips in automatically and pulls out very easily, but it holds it in very strongly. And there's one on each side. Now once these gripper clips are removed, the top will lift out like this. And you got your lamps. And then the lamps also lift out for maintenance or replacement, etc., etc. And put it back on. Oh, and by the way, on the inside here, I have an empty dish rack, and then I have pieces of wood here to hold the sides on. And then as far as this goes right here, I have a bolt right here which goes to a piece of wood, and there's another piece of wood on the other side of the dish rack. And this dish rack is basically the frame that supports the entire inside. And to put it back on, and this goes back on top like this. That sits on there. Put your gripper clips back in, like so. It's so easy, it can even be done with one hand. Now that it's in there sturdy, it'll lift no problem. And it'll stay on there strong without any type of, coming off or anything. Now on the bottom here, I put long screws through here. So it's got about a 1 or 2 inch airflow on the bottom. As you can see right there, there's a decent enough space to keep airflow going through there. So let's go ahead and look at the Peltier tower attached to the top. What we're going to do is we're going to get the kerosene can Peltier tower, and you'll see right here I've put down two L hinges right here with holes. Okay, so what's going to happen is when I take this up here, it's going to align with these holes right here, like so. See? And once it catches in, like so, there we go. Now we have the Peltier tower attached to the base. And all we need to do is put the wing nuts on here. I've got 4 wing nuts, 2 per side, on each side right here. Now this is the same screws, wing nuts used for the trowel handle, which we used to lift it up previously. So we can put these wing nuts in here. I'll put 2 on the other side, like so. I'm not going to be perfect, I'm just going to do it for the demonstration so it's in there enough, so you guys get an idea of basically how it works. Anyway, once these are in here, you can lift it up, and the entire thing is now liftable with the kerosene handle, you see? So you can carry this thing basically wherever you want. And then if you want, you can always take that off and then use the trowel handle to carry it. Now, when this thing is up and operational, I'm getting a good 12 volts out of this. And I'm able to charge up these supercapacitors in about 3 hours. That's one supercapacitor would charge in approximately 3 hours. And that's with the lamps on a high speed. But remember, this is something that would charge supercapacitors or cell phones without any sun, without any wind, and without any other form of electricity other than heat. Close up on the frame on the inside. As you can see here, I've got a piece of tin right here. And this piece of tin, there's a hole here, as you can see from the other side here. This piece of tin basically has a hole to keep the to let the flames through. Now this is the dish rack frame right here. As you can see, this is all the dish rack, and there's a piece of metal right here which bends at 90 degrees to hold the magnet door closed on this side, and then there's a piece of wood right here on the other end which goes through a piece of wood here, and this is sandwiched between the dish rack. And so what this does is this provides a lifting force so you can lift it out with the dish rack. And on the other side right here I have a piece of wood here with a nut and a bolt, and this holds the foam board on the other side in there. It's a sandwich between the dish rack on that side. And on this side again here I have a piece of wood with a nut and bolt sandwiched between the dish rack, which holds the foam board on here, and that keeps it secure. So quite simply, between the dish rack right here there's usually a piece of wood which is sandwiched between, and that basically is what provides the the lifting force, or to hold the sides on there, or to hold the ends on. And so that's just basically a quick peek under the hood of how it looks on the inside, and how everything is held together. Quite simply how this works is Peltier is put on top like this, and then a heat sink is placed on top like this, and then metal strapping tape goes over the top like this, and then it's sealed on each end with a bolt at the very end. So it basically ends up sealing like this, and this piece going through here, and that pretty much is how it's sealed up. And these cans you can pick up from a hardware store. They got a handle on them and everything else, but I've hollowed it out like this, as you can see.